Hi, welcome to Let's Cook, where we're doing fritters. Now, for this first segment today, we're actually doing some apple and banana fritters using a similar batter. I have them right here with some different preserves because it's always very nice to serve them with preserves. Now, to make fritters, basically, you're always going to be using eggs, flour, some leavening agent, whether it be baking soda or baking powder. There's usually sugar in there. So I'm showing you the basic ingredients here where we have egg whites and egg yolks and flour and sugar, salt, some lemon zest, cinnamon powdered sugar, and cocoa powder. That's actually to finish the fritters. Now normally I might confuse you a little bit because normally what I would do is I would take my copper bowl, I would take my room temperature egg whites, then I would, using a balloon whisk, I would take and I would beat these until they started to take on some air and they formed soft peaks. As soon as they started to take on soft peaks, then I would add a little bit of sugar to them or even cream of tartar. That would stabilize them. And what I'm doing by whipping the egg whites this way is I'm actually incorporating air. Now, to do this, I need a bunch of different bowls because I have to whip the egg whites like this, then I have to whip the yolks with the milk, then I have to mix my dry ingredients, fold that together, fold that together. Well, we're not doing that today on Let's Cook. I'm going to show you a very simple way to make them. Right over here, what I did in my mixer right here is I simply took 4 eggs with a cup of sugar. And all I did is I put it on the mixer and I beat it as if I was making a cake till I had this consistency right here, which is soft peak. Not soft peaks, but a little, it's ribboning. I want it to ribbon. You see how it's ribboning there? So I just take this and it ribbons on top. I can see it ribboning. That's all I really need. Now, the only thing that's in here is my eggs and my sugar. So, to make my fritters then, I would take my flour right here. So I'm just going to go, and this is for the banana fritters. I'm going to take my flour right here. It's a little bit of the flour right there because I can use this as a base as for all my fritters, and a little bit of my batter right here. Beautiful. And I'm going to be using this batter as a base for all of my fritters today. I simply come in here and I fold this together till I have a nice consistency here that is going to brown well when I fry it. So here is now the batter for my banana fritters. So I'll take my banana right here. Just take one of them, show you one of them. We'll take our banana, we're just going to cut it down here, not cutting all the way through. Peel the banana. So this is so easy, and such an easy way. Then you can make a lot of different fritters using this recipe. Then we take our fritters. You're going to cut the banana basically on a little bit of a bias in 4. Come over here and get a couple of skewers here. Absolutely out of this world. We skewer the banana with the skewer. I guess that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? To skewer the banana with the skewer. But we'll skewer the banana. Then we'll take our skewers, bring them right over here. I'm going to take your batter down, my base for my fritter right here. I'm going to take this. Okay, these bananas, of course, this isn't going to work for me now because they're a little ripe. But we'll take these and drop them into the oil here and let them start to cook. And these are going to be absolutely delicious. The batter's going to be nice and light, out of this world. And we're just going to cook these fritters. Now, with the same base that I have for my banana fritters now, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon zest to this. I'm also going to loosen it up with a little bit more of the batter here. Then I have some apples right here. Take these apples, I drain them off because I had them in a little bit of lemon water so they don't oxidize. We drop our apples into that with just a pinch of cinnamon there. Take this, going to fire up my pan here now, get a little bit of oil in my pan, and I'm going to pan fry these fritters. So the banana fritters here, I'm deep frying, but these I'm going to pan fry. Let's take a look at these banana fritters, see how they're doing here. Beautiful. Okay. You do need to keep turning these over as they're cooking so that they cook evenly on both sides. For the apple fritters, notice it's a little more pancakey, but it's still not going to be too floury. We'll take these now. Let's test our oil and make sure it's hot enough here, because we don't want to drop them in there and have them not start to cook. Okay. Is it almost ready? Needs about another half a minute there. Okay. Let's take this. That's okay. It's almost ready. Stove seems to be a little slow today. It's almost there. Once I start to see bubbles on this, I'm okay. But again, with the banana fritters, you keep turning them and basting them with the oil so that they really will cook and really expand nicely. Beautiful. See? And see how they really fluff up here? Okay, good. Now, this batter is ready. So now with my apple fritters, using the same batter, just drop them in here. Beautiful. Another one right in there. Beautiful. We're going to let these apple fritters cook. These are going to take about 6 minutes. However, we're only going to take about a 2-minute break. And so when we come back, I'm going to show you how the apple fritters look finished, how the banana fritters look finished. Plus, I'm going to show you how to make some wonderful Chipotle corn fritters. It's Fritters today on Let's Cook. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Fritters today on Let's Cook. Now, I have these fritters right here. These are the apple fritters. I already took out the banana fritters, so these are good to go. We're just going to take these now, put these on absorbent paper toweling. Oh, out of this world. These are going to be so sweet and so delicious. The only other thing that we'll do right now is I have right here, I have a little bit of cinnamon and powdered sugar that's mixed together in a sifter, and then to serve these for the apple, anyway, just a little bit of that, just that'll be delicious on those, and it even goes well on the banana fritters. So that's how we finish them. Set them up on a plate. Always do the sugaring, before you put it on the plate. You're going to present it. Now, the next item we're going to make is we're going to make a corn fritter. Now, have some beautiful corn right here. What I'm going to do with this corn is with my knife, and I'm not going to cook this. I'm going to use the raw corn. I'm just going to take the kernels right off of the cob right here. Nice, fresh, delicious, sweet corn. Beautiful. I get so excited because I really think food is so beautiful. So I'll take my corn, I'll put my corn right in here. I'm not going to blanch this corn, not going to cook it. To this now, I'm going to add some cornmeal, white cornmeal, some flour, about equal quantities, some salt, and chipotle chilies or any dried chili. Now, I have some dried chilies here. What I'm going to do with this dried chili is I'm just going to take it. I already put it in the oven to dry it out a little bit. Take this, put this into my spice grinder here. Grind this up, getting it nice and fine. Let's let that go just a little bit more. Now, remember before when we made the batter, there, that goes right in there. When we made the batter before, I said I could go ahead and use this batter as a base for all of my fritters. Well, this is a sweet batter right here, and what I'm going to do with this sweet batter is I'm just going to take in, before I do anything, add a little bit of milk to these ingredients, mix these together. It's going to be somewhat tight. Want it to be somewhat tight. Then we take a little bit of our fritter base here, and you fold this into it. Doesn't that look great? Whoops, beautiful. Need a little bit more flour in here, we want it to be a little tighter. And again, the leavening in here came through when we whipped the eggs with the sugar and incorporated some air in here. But you can see that this is a lot tighter than my other batter. Then, using a scoop, just come right over here and drop it into our oil. Let this start to cook. There we are. Okay, that's going to rise to the top, and then we're going to baste these. Now these fritters you can also make ahead of time, and you can just bring them up and heat them up in the oven. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Now if this happens to you where they go and they stick to the bottom of the pan, which means these are a little heavier, what you're going to do is you're going to let them start to cook a little bit first. Then you're going to gently come up underneath and release them this way, and then they're going to, as they start to cook, they're going to come to the top and they're going to get nice and golden brown. Now, to go with these, and the way I presented this plate, and I'm going to show you this plate, is I took the husk from the corn and I removed any of the silk. I cleaned them, I patted them very dry. If I take these, and I can actually take these and drop these into the oil as well, whoops, and deep fry these. And what will end up happening is they'll end up looking just like I have on a plate over here, where they look a little bit dried, but they're nice and crispy looking, and they give you a great presentation. Let me continue to cook these corn fritters. I'm going to continue to baste them, get them nice and golden brown. We're going to take a little break, and then for our next fritter, we're actually making a mini donut. So don't go anywhere. I guess it's fritters and donuts today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we're doing fritters, but now it's time for the donuts. Can't believe I said now it's time for the donuts. Now, to make the donuts, I'm actually using yeast. So what I've done here is I've taken a little bit of warm water here, and I've dissolved my yeast in the water, making sure it's totally dissolved. Need to make sure that's dissolved, and it should also start to form little bubbles on top, which you saw there. Those little bubbles tell you that the yeast is actually doing what it's supposed to do, producing carbon dioxide. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take my flour into my mixer here, put this on a slow speed with my water and yeast right here. We're going to let this start to mix together. As that starts to mix together, I can go ahead and add my sugar, my salt, my lemon zest, and my egg yolks. Mix this together so that it forms a nice dough. We're going to actually proof this dough twice, so if it becomes a little elastic, that's okay. Let me just get a rubber scraper, scrape down the sides here. It doesn't seem to be coming together the way I'd like it to, but a lot of times that happens when I make donuts. They don't come together as quickly as I would like to. Here we are. Just need to make sure you get all that flour mixed in there. Now also, when you're working with flour, a lot of times you should always have a little backup flour on the side here, because a lot of times shut it off whenever you add something to this as well. The flour sometimes works a little differently. So we're going to mix this together so we get a really nice dough. And this is not too sweet, but when I serve this at the end of the show after I've made these donuts, I'm actually going to serve it with a delicious pineapple mango sauce, or even just pineapple sauce if you can't get the mangoes. Okay, good. Let's mix this a little bit more. Again, we're not going to mix this too long because we don't want to develop the gluten, but even if you overdevelop the gluten, it's still going to work well. Here we go. Let's bring this together a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, just a little bit more flour here. Now, as this comes together, I'm now going to take this out of the mixer and finish kneading it on the cutting board. When I do that, I'll just take a little bit of flour here so that I have some nice bench flour to work. Good. This is good. I could also mix this by hand if I wanted to. Now, the dough might be a little sticky, so it's a good idea as well just to flour your hand when you go into this. That way your hand won't get too doughy. Take this now and just kind of work this together. And again, this is a really light donut, but you see we're just going to work this together till it comes together nicely. Then once it's together this way, I'm simply going to seal it by rolling it this way, I get a nice seam on the bottom there. When I roll it this way, I get a nice seam on the bottom. I take this, I put a little bit of oil here in the bowl, just a little bit. Take my donut mix, like that, making sure it's well coated. Then I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap and allow this to rise till it's double in size. This is what it will look like once it's risen till it's double in size. So you can see that what we're doing here, look at, you see how we're going here, where we actually get a double take on this. Now, what we do with this, we're going to take this, you're going to take this out of the bowl now, okay? Work it onto the bench here. Then, you're going to cut it into equal size pieces like this. We're then going to take these equal size pieces and roll them out into little balls. So we roll these into little balls like this. That doesn't look very good. I just saw that on tape there. You really want to get them so that they're nicely sealed. If it doesn't work for you, another way you can do it is just kind of go like this. Bring them all together so that they're seamed at the bottom. Then don't have too much bench flour left. You're going to set them up like that. See how that looks? That's how you want it to look good. We then take these, set them onto a plate like this, and you let them rise again till they're double in size. Now you're ready to fry these. When you go to fry these, you're going to carefully pick them up and drop them into the oil. These are then going to start to cook as well. And of course, my oil keeps playing games on me here. But if they even stick together, let's take a look at this while that comes up. See how this is sticking together here? A little bit, might be sticking together a little bit. Just pry this apart if they do touch. You're going to go like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you drop them into the oil. As they're cooking in the oil, it's very important that while they're cooking to take and turn them over and also baste them. And these are going to be delicious sweet donuts that are a real nice dessert, especially, you know, fresh donuts like this made. Very nice, delicious dessert that we're going to serve with, of course, that pineapple mango sauce, which actually only has 3 ingredients. But if you want to see the sauce and you want to see the donuts, you're going to have to stay with me because I'm going to go to break right now, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you the sauce to go with these wonderful donuts. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where let's take a look at our donuts here now. You know, it's with the donuts here, you need to be turning them to make sure that they cook evenly. But don't these look great? And you see that great color here? Now, every once in a while, it's nice to have a pair of chopsticks or something where once you turn them over, you can kind of hold them in place. See? Whoops. Because all the air has gone to the one side there, so you have to kind of hold them in place so that they do cook evenly. Of course, now my chopsticks, they were working perfect. When we were at break and I turned them over, you know they were working perfect. But here we go. You know, let's see here. We only have a couple of minutes. Oh, hold on, 1:45, I have to show you the sauce. Take your Cuisinart or your food processor. Pineapple, fresh mango, sugar. Let it go. Now there's natural liquid in the pineapple and mango that is going to bond with the sugar so that you end up with a beautiful, delicious, easy sauce to go with these. Now my donuts, only have about a minute left here. Let's get out some of these donuts so you can see how nice they look. Don't these look terrific? Again, and I'll tell you, these are so light and airy that I feel like I'm picking up a feather as I pick these up. So let's just, you know, my producer just spoke in my ear, and Lisa just said 50 seconds. Is it 45 yet, Lisa? It's 45. Is it 40 seconds left? I'm giving you a countdown here because I just want to show you that in under 10 seconds we can go ahead and get our donuts out. We can come over here I can show you the consistency of the sauce that we have right here. Then we take our delicious donuts right here, right into the dish right here. And then, with just 13 seconds left, 10 seconds, I can show you the beautiful consistency of our sauce right here to go with our wonderful donuts. Thanks for watching Let's Cook. Bye-bye for now.